Hey guys, this is Illogic, and today we're going over pack trips out of the Green Bay Packers playbook. I just want to give a brief introduction of myself. I think, as I said, my name is Illogic, and I've been a member of Madden Daily site for probably about 5 years now, and been learning from them, and they give you a lot of great stuff to go off of. So there's a little shout out to them, and basically the reason I'm even putting this out here is because of them. And Lights was running gun tight offset TE, and he was talking about moving on to some other formations, so took it upon myself to kind of come up with something on my own. As some of you know, there's a play in the gun tight offset TE that's really good against cover 2 and man. For me, I kind of struggled with cover 3, but I'm pretty sure that's just because I'm not that great for some reason with that formation in cover 3. But I thought, let me see what I can beat cover 3 with, and cover 4 too. I notice a lot of people stick with that, so I kind of focus on those two defenses and man a little bit also when coming over to pack trips. So plays we're going to be going over are PA wide receiver in, Packers seam, stick nod, Packer drive right there, slot fade shot, which has a really crazy bendy corner route over there, and then Packer scat. Packer scat is actually the first play we're going to be going over, and that's one of the plays I like against cover 3. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of what we're going to be running. Remember, when you audible to this from gun tight offset TE, you're going to have to do it out of the HB1 package. That's a 4 wide receiver package, and this is a 4 wide receiver formation. So when you audible, you're only going to have this to audible to. So that kind of makes it easy when you're audibling, at least. And you will be motioning circle here across the formation, so sometimes when that clock is winding down, you'll be getting these players off at a couple seconds ago. But it's really not that much motion. I thought it was actually a little more than I originally thought, but it's really not that much. And these are just some basic plays, guys. None of this is probably going to blow you away, but it's just not something effective you can do to kind of audible around and mix things up. So the only thing that I recommend is having a hot route master for your QB. I always run it. I'm a pass heavy person, but if you wanted to, I guess you could get the corresponding receiver abilities, but I think it gets pretty confusing when you're audibling around, so I would just do hot route master. And if you're going to have anything on the wide receivers, I would put Slot-O-Matic on where number 14 is there. He'll end up being R1. I'm pretty positive in-game. So I would put Slot-O-Matic there. He's going to be on a lot of short routes. And that's pretty much it, guys. The first play we're going to go over is Packer Scat. And shout out to Lights and the Madden Daily fam. Hope you guys enjoy this. And just real quick again, guys, my audibles are stick nod, Packer drive, slot fade shot, and Packer scat. PA wide receiver in is something I'll come out if they're running man. It's just a mix-in play. It's not great. So again, you can come out in that and audible to one of the other plays if you want. And Packer seam is a play I'll come out in if I see a lot of cover 4. And then if I come out and it's cover 3, now I can audible to one of the other plays. So just wanted to add that in there too. Alright, let's go to the first setup. This is basically something I do in versus cover 3. I was having some problems in gun tight LCT versus cover 3. Maybe that's just kind of new, but I also wanted to branch out and have something else too. So this is actually pretty decent against cover 3. Something I found that was... You're basically going to post circle and motion him over option route triangle. What this happens here is the user is going to have to guard either the post or triangle. As you can see, a lot of these other little curl routes are going to be covered, but as you can see, circle and triangle are open there. Obviously, I'm not too focused on making the throws in this, guys. I'm just kind of showing you the concepts, but that's definitely going to get open, especially if you can roll out and put a good pass on that. But let's show it this time the triangle, just to show you that this is actually also open. Circle on a post there. So this is actually open by default, so you can just hit that. Obviously they're playing underneath and they go to cover R1, it's going to be more of a problem. Let's do that right now. So here's what it'll look like if it's underneath. Again, you're going to have circle. So the user is going to have to pick, even in underneath, I'm pretty sure they're going to either have to go up high or low. Obviously they can, make adjustments to cover this, so this isn't something I'm running a bunch. But with all the motion that you're doing with this scheme, they're not exactly sure what you're going to be running. So when you motion him over, you might not be running that. So that's the first play. I'm going to run it one more time. Shade down, shade up. Motion circle, left. Put him on a post. Option route triangle. Easy peasy if I'm, that's going to get open more to the side there, especially if you got more time. I'll add the hell out of this play, and it was pretty much the same result almost every time. So, there you go. Let's move on to another setup for this play. Here's something I like doing versus cover 4. Let's go ahead and shade down, shade up. Make sure there's no matching on. Right here, you can do a lot with triangle. I call this the freestyle play. The main thing I like to do though is just put him on this, because watch what's going to happen here. Right inside versus cover 4, because the flat has to go out. The only thing you're going to have there is the user, right? So here's what happens in cover 4. You might have noticed it if you were looking off to the right. But here's what happens in cover 4. Let's say, we're going to do our streak to triangle, look to him in the middle. Let's say the user's over there, right? He's like, yeah, I just saw you do that. Watch R1. Every time in cover 4, that flat zone is going to go out there to play, the guy on the right. So that's his assignment. That's open right there. In cover 4, they cannot stop this curl route, I've noticed. At nickel, dime, that flat is always going to shoot out there. So, and you have X right there. And remember, circle, or I'm sorry, we're not motioning circle here, but circle is the guy we would motion. So, again, this also basically works versus cover 3 too. I wouldn't run it against cover 2 though. So let's do this again. Cover 3, simple. You can low pass that if you want. I mean, unless if they're playing zone cover 3 or cover 4 and they don't man that guy up or go play it, that's going to be open pretty much every time. So that's another little quick hitter that you can go in there. When I found that, I was like, oh, okay, wow, this is going to be one of those, quick hitter offenses. I know I can find more with this, and once I do, it's going to be pretty, it'll be beast. Now, one other setup I wanted to go over with this, guys, is instead of motioning circle, we're going to motion R1 over this time. We are going to put square on and out, triangle on a Texas, X on a post. Now, what this does against cover 4, again, the flat zone is going to have to go out there to play square. You're going to have R1 open, and this is going to create basically a middle high-low between triangle and X as well. So look, R1's open, triangle's open, and X is open. Look at that versus cover 4. I mean, that obliterates cover 4, and that's with the cloud flash shaded up and down. No match there. That just destroyed cover 4. So those guys who are just going to sit there and cover 4, they're not going to sit there and cover 4 now. Alright, so this is really another glitch play, guys. Sometimes I just look at plays and I'll be like, oh, I really love the play art on this. I really love the play art on this. You got a guy, you got a slot receiver running the seam, and then you got 2 guys coming in, behind him on the ends. So what I want to do here, I like running this versus cover 4. But honestly, you can run it versus the other coverages too. So what I'll do, cover 4, we're going to do the cloud flat shade up. We're going to put triangle on the ghost here. And then versus cover 4, we're going to look for R1, circle, and triangle. R1, circle, and triangle. As you see, circle is going to be open there underneath. Triangle was also open on the ghost route. What happens here is the middle linebacker has to go back to play the seam, so it kind of opens up one of those underneath routes. And the thing is I'm pretty sure if they're shading underneath. Let's say they want to be sneaky and they want to shade underneath here. We're gonna do the same setup, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be R1 who gets open now. Obviously that's a tight pass. You can still hit circle there. I obviously wouldn't even go for R1. I would just still hit circle again. It should be open. Just one other thing I wanted to say about this. If you come up against cover 2 and, you know, you run this, it's a tutty. You know, it's a touchdown if you can get away from there. But I just wanted to say this is a decent cover 2, cover 4 play. I wouldn't run it too much against cover 3. I thought that it did work, but obviously now that I'm back in practice mode, I'm realizing it doesn't. I think it's when, because I don't have cover 3 in my audibles, I have it in this other formation. I think it's when I go to this formation that you're going to see X get open here. Yeah, for some reason X just kills that formation. I know that this formation right here, no it's not, nickel 3-3-Y. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I mean this is simple, you know, hitting the streak over the top. So this play really can beat cover 3 and 2 for a one-play touchdown depending on the formation, and then obviously with cover 4 only if the user lets it go. You can maybe hit it up the seam for a quick pass, but it's probably not going to get you a touchdown because you still got 4 cover 4s back there. It's more of an underneath versus cover 4. I only run this when the guy's running a ton of cover 4. Then I'll come out in this play sometimes, but it's not something I put in my audibles. Alright guys, this is a play I like to run versus man because of the S-post over here. We're going to slant R1, block the running back, triangle, circle, R1 to put the circle receiver on a smart routed S route, and then we're just going to put X over here on an out route. Usually I like him to be the guy that has my slot ability, you know, the one that breaks on short routes easy. This is just nickel, so as you can see on the right, that guy's not really pressed, so just imagine that he would be. It's, you know what the read's going to be like. But basically what I'm looking for here, I'm going X, R1, circle, square as kind of like the progression. X is not open, we're looking for R1, then we're looking for square on that bendy in. That takes a little bit. So I actually look to circle first on this. Again, we're going to slant, motion him over, block the running back, smart route, the post, that's post, and put the X on the out route. Let's go ahead and put these guys into man coverage and press. Excuse me. Again, we're going to go X, R1, circle, square, X, R1, circle. Again, you know the dive catch is there. And if they're playing purples, the purple's not even going to be there. So that's just something I like to do with versus man. Again, that's not an audible. Obviously, it's not that great of a play. It's an audible by default, but I take it out and replace it with Packer Scat. Just something I wanted to show you guys there. Something else you can throw in or come out in if they're really running a lot of man, just to mix it up. Alright guys, one of the reasons I wanted to show you this play is just look at that corner route on R1, the way it bends out there. It does pretty decent against man. But if you get hit, obviously it's not, so I'm going to put these guys in a spy real quick, because if you get hit, this never really seems to work. I'm just going to run it real quick just to kind of show you what the separation is, no setup. Now see that? If you just throw that out there with a bullet pass, I mean, I don't see how any CB is going to make a break on that. I've been labbing it, and they don't make a break on it. Sometimes in cover 2, that deep safety will get over there and pick it off, but I don't think it's going to happen often. I also don't think it's really a click-on type of play, and it really happens quick when you do get it out, so I don't really think there's enough time to react on this. Like I said, maybe one step ahead slows it down. I can't be positive, but I mean, look at that. The only thing about this play, guys, is man meta with the purples will stop that corner route on the outside. Let's see if we can get it off before we get our asses blitzed. As you can see, he is over there to make a play. He didn't react right there, but a user can pick that off, and it probably will get picked off. So this is one of those ones where if you're suspecting the man meta and you might not want to run that. You know, you got to read them and see what's going on. We don't really attack any corner route over there though, except for this one place. So again, something they might not be suspecting when you do run it. Just wanted to add that in there. Alright guys, when I was labbing cover 3 beaters, after Packer scat that one play I showed you, this was probably the second play that I found that I really liked. We're going to just motion R1 over here, we are going to block the running back, we are going to in route X, and then we're going to smart route him because I like him going a little bit deeper than where he would be on a regular in route. We're going to make sure the defense is in the right defense, yes they are, cover 3 cloud flats. And let's go ahead and we're going to look for... Our reads are going to be R1, X, and circle, but really versus cover 3 and 4, you're mostly going to be winning R1 and circle. So watch what R1 does here. Okay, that was a little tighter than usual. Let's run it again. Okay, same setup. We're going to do this. Now, you're probably thinking, that's too dangerous. And you're kind of right, it is dangerous, so you're not going to want to run this a bunch, but this is just another play where instead of going straight across like the regular post, are going more up into the field. So if you got a user on that, you know, and they're thinking you're going right, they could overshoot it. We can also run this against cover 4, same exact setup. Motion R1 left, block the running back, in route. Again, actually gets super open right there. So that's a quick pass actually versus cover 4 if the user's not over there. I do want to show you this guys one more time because it actually does get more open, especially if you give it a little longer. Same setup, smart in X, block the running back, motion R1 over. See that? If you can catch that in like those type of windows, this is what this play is. And it's not a regular post like I said, so it's not going across, it's going up and kind of like up more to an angle. So it's just another thing you can mix in there that'll kind of put them on the spot at a different level of the field. And like I said, apparently versus cover 4, it's a quick pass right there. One other thing, cover 2, let's do this real quick. Same setup. Motion R1 over, block the running back. Smart in route X. For cover 2, I don't really like going R1, obviously, because watch what's going to happen. The linebacker's going to drop and play that, but you have X right here in the middle, and then you have circle coming underneath. So really, it might be a better cover 2 play in all honesty, but I kind of like it versus cover 3. When you really mix these plays up, it's hard for the user to kind of like, you know, decide what he's going to guard. So, you know, you're seeing some things and thinking that's not going to be open in game. Well, if you mix it up enough, it should be. Alright guys, here's another play. Packer drive. I like drive concepts in general. I don't know. I just felt like they've been maybe one of the easiest concepts to run, you know, in Madden for years. And honestly, whenever I've, you know, gone on a crappy streak, I'll just start running something like this, and then all of a sudden my offense is back on track, and I'm figuring out stuff again. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple with drive. I don't do any setup here. If it's cover 2, say the baseline, whatever, you know, whatever they're gonna do. We're gonna look for X, R1, and triangle, and then we have square and circle that can get open for big plays. So let's look at the interior reads first. Let's go for X, R1, triangle. You're basically looking for where the user's not. The user go left or right, you know. Run it again. Okay. No baseline this time. X, R1, triangle. Those are my reads. X is not really going to be open, but he's still going to want to be something you look at just because, you know, if the user... You don't know what the user's going to do. If the user is not there, you're hitting X. And then you're basically, you know, you're hitting either R1 or triangle out of the backfield underneath the flats. Obviously, against cover 2 shaded underneath, going to be a different story. Those interior reads are not going to be open. But what you can expect Obviously, let's say they do. Say they're trying to trick you. We're just going to look over here to circle. Obviously, you guys know this. I don't even need to tell you guys this. So, obviously, that can be a touchdown sometimes. And again, this is cover 2, guys. So, again, I don't have to tell you guys this because you're way better than me. You're pros. You're winning tournaments. Let's look at square. Oh, you know what? I was in the wrong defense. Forgive me. I switched defenses. I don't know why that happened. Forgive me for wasting your precious time. Alright, we're back in cover 2. Cover 2, square. Even when I got throw out a sack, he almost had that. So, obviously, square and circle are your bombs versus cover 2 on this play. This play is basically a cover 2 destroyer. I really don't... When I was coming to this formation, I wasn't really looking for cover 2 beaters. And I kind of was surprised to figure out some of the stuff doesn't work versus cover 2. Which, you know, puts it in my head that, you know, certain things beat certain things. I really like this whole formation versus cover 3 and cover 4. And man a little bit. It can, you know, it can do some stuff versus man with some of the setups I've come up with. But, you know, it's not a sure thing. I really love this first zone, though. So, let's go on. Okay, I do have another setup with this play. Say they're not in cover 2. Say they're in cover 3 or cover 4. Obviously, you're making pre-snap reads because you're a baller. We already know that. We are going to put X on a drag. Okay, yeah, I remember this setup. Now, what we're basically just changing who goes on the in route and who goes on the drag. That's all we're doing. Now, why this works, watch R1. R1, oh, you're so open. You're just so open. Again, remember when we went over that play where the scat play where the guys came down, or I'm sorry, they shot out and left that little curl open? That's basically what's going on here, again, versus cover 3 and cover 4. You can shade up, you can shade down. It's not going to stop that. You're going to have to play a different defense, like man, obviously, or you're going to have to get your ass out there and use it. But the problem with that becomes you're giving up X and triangle. So, let's pick your poison. Look how open R1 is versus cover 4. I mean, I'm not even throwing it. The pro reads is just like, throw it, throw it, throw it. And let's go versus cover 3. Again, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. Let's get our setup in, which is 2 drag X and smart in route R1, which is basically we're just switching those guys on the drag and the in route. Cover 3 again. Oh, well, R1's open, not a surprise. So, you have 2 quick pass options out of here versus cover 3 and 4. And when you're mixing this all up, again, you know, they don't know what to expect. Alright, let's talk about stick and nod for a second here, guys. Stick and nod would actually be a really great play if this X route over here actually ever gets open. It used to get open in other Maddens. I remember people would run this on 3rd down versus me, and I'd be like, how the hell did that get open? I started running on 3rd down. But as you can see, let's run this. Just watch how stupidly he gets screwed up. I mean, he doesn't get open. This is not open. He doesn't even run his route. I don't get this route. EA needs to explain this to us, or someone smarter than me at the game needs to explain this to me, because I don't think it works. Another thing about this play is you would think square would get open versus press, but square doesn't do anything really versus press. Nothing. I mean, he did something there on that. Let's take a look at that again. Maybe he does get open if the route running is good, but I'm just gonna spy these guys so they're not playing deep zones. We're gonna just act like it's cover 4, you know, or I'm sorry, man meta, you know, with the purples out there. We'll give square another shot. Yeah, square's not really doing much. In this instance, circle got in the way. He actually was decently open, or whoever that was. X. I don't even know how. See, X should never even be near that. Anyway, I would rather run this. I would rather throw square. It seems like square gets more open on off-man coverage. It just seems like that's how you're going to get square open here. As you can see that? I don't know. It just seems like it's more open to me if it's not pressed. You can try that out in-game for you or practice it. I haven't really spent much time with it. When I first looked at this play, I thought, oh, that's going to get open. It doesn't. But that's really not the draw to this play. You're probably thinking, well, what's good about this play then? I'm going to show you what's good about this play. We're gonna max protect. We are gonna put circle on that post over there. We're gonna put X on the corner, and we are gonna put square on a slant. This is actually a pretty decent man setup. What's gonna happen is R1 on this inside zig. Watch him burn. He's just gonna burn. He's gonna burn. He's burning. He burned. Once he got off that break, he's burning. So as long as you got a guy who's not getting his ass beat on press and he gets off that, look at the separation there. I mean, and you're probably thinking, yeah, but that's only 1 or 2 yards. But it gets open versus man on the inside. I mean, it's just like a little safety valve thing. That's really all I want you to think of it as. It's not even your main read. But just knowing that it gets open is kind of like, it gives you some confidence, you know, running, you know, going up against man. Anyway, let's go over that setup just one more time. I actually have 4 setups here. I want to show you, X does really nice from this position on this corner route. Just, I mean, look at all the space he gets over there if you're on the left hash. Obviously, you can't throw that versus the man meta purple. This would be kind of like, you know, maybe a quick snap setup or something, but you got a few different. Honestly, I would run this when, you know, maybe you haven't been hitting them at the corner, so maybe they're not purpling out there. You know, maybe they're running hard flats or something else, or, you know, they're probably not running hard flats, but let's just say they're not running purples. You're going to have X. But if you don't have X, say they are running purples, I mean, look at circle. Bam. I mean, circle's open, and you got square going underneath of that. You really got, and remember, R1's getting open. You saw that. So one more time on this, just to get this through. Again, you're not motioning here, so this is actually a pretty decent setup, I think, versus man. You basically got X, circle, square, R1. I mean, you know, you're hoping he gets a little separation there, and you're hoping there's not a guy standing right there in the middle. We'll run it one more time, because that was one of those times where it just got locked up. So, again, X, bam, he's open, square's open, circle's open. I think I'll just throw this. Obviously, you need a better throw on that. But even though you're going to get that ag catch a lot too now. So as long as the CV is, if it's Dion or someone like AJ Terrell, let's keep it moving. I like to call this my left post. These next plays are all going to be left post plays. What I'm doing here, this is all the motion that I was kind of mentioned earlier. We're going to motion circle over and slant them. We're going to max protect. We're going to put X on the corner, and then we're going to put square on the post. See what I did here? So this is just another setup. This is actually pretty decent too. We're going to look at circle, square, R1, X. Remember, you got your R1 coming open all the time on that little, you know, inside zig. Again, if they're playing purples, that's fine, because we only have one guy going out there versus the purples. So the only thing is that's kind of like your last read. So if nothing else is there and you throw there, you might want to check that first. And again, if you think you want to go through the reads differently, that's fine with me. But I'm going circle, open, square, not open. R1 was open though. You see R1 getting open there again. Let's run that again. Slant and circle, motioning, max protects, corner route X, post route square. Again, pretty decent setup. Circle, open, square's going to get open, R1's open, X is open. See that right there? It worked out perfectly. I just didn't catch the ball. I didn't throw that good enough on the corner. But that right there was how you want that to work. I mean, again, how are purples going to stop all that when 3 of the routes of 4 are going in the middle? Let's move on. We are going to go with this. I call this the left post right slant. So again, we're going to put, well, actually this time we're going to put circle on the post. We're going to max protect, and then we are going to slant X. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, you left that square road out there. Yeah, I did. The reason I'm doing it this time is I kind of just wanted it to be like a decoy, and also, if it's open, throw it. If it's not, it's probably not going to be open anyway. What you're really looking for here is circle. You can look for square if he's open, and then X, R1. Again, R1 is coming open underneath. So this is one of those plays where you're like, okay, I'm going to mix it up, and if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world, because you still got that guy, you know, coming open underneath. You know, a lot of times you're going to get, yeah, circle, I mean, see circle. Square actually did, I think, beat his man that time. Let's go over that one more time. I wasn't actually thinking that anything was going to happen. That one. Really easy setup. We're gonna go circle. Yes, he's gonna get open. X is open. And then, I mean, you could go circle, X, R1, square, and then check square at the end there, if he's open. Again, this is another solid play, and you're mixing up, you know, who's on the slant. You know, last time he was on the slant, now he's on the post. Okay, this is what I call, this four setup is what I call the left post, left slant play. Again, we're gonna post circle, motion him over, max protect, put X on a corner, put square on a slant. I kind of like this one too, because you're kind of getting the dual middle reads with the R1 coming open underneath. So right here, the progression is circle, square, R1, X. So let's go with that. Circle's looking open, square can fly open, R1 and then X. I mean, it's basically, you know, it's pretty easy reads. Again, this isn't always going to get open because man is crazy. There probably are more efficient ways to beat man, and you know, these are kind of some different ways just to mix it up without, like, you know, trying to glitch it out or anything like that. And I've been running this stuff so far. It's decent. You know, you got to beat the pass rush too on spread. That's one thing. You got to make this a quick read offense. So we're going circle, square. I mean, circle, you could throw that anytime, really, right now. Yeah, well, you could have, but let's do it again. Again, versus man purples, you have three things that are going to be over here. Circle, square, R1. That's three reads versus man purples. And if they don't have man purples, you got X there at the end. I'll run it one more time. Let's see if we can get circle or square open. Yeah, see square. You're probably thinking they bump there, and they do, but this is one of the few times where it's like, oh wait, the bump actually works for some reason. I mean, one of these guys is going to get open between circle and square usually. And then if they don't, you got R1, and if no one's out there, I mean, look at, you know, as long as you guys are meeting thresholds and stuff, you got to take those shots versus man. I mean, what else are you really going to do? You're not going to do it all the time, obviously, but